The automotive manufacturing sector relies on a really broad and large network of manufacturers and suppliers. If we break down a vehicle, we can arrive at numbers in excess of 30,000 components. So the reality is that many of the manufacturing and the expertise required to deliver these components is outsourced. So the upshot is that we have many other design and manufacturing industries that for many decades have now depended on the automotive driving peak demand.
I think car manufacturing is a very, very complex and really difficult industry to sustain and maintain. And what unfortunately has happened in Australia over the past so many decades is that we've sort of embraced an open borders policy in Thailand and in Malaysia. There are huge taxes on vehicles that are 4 litres and so on. So you can't essentially sell Australian cars in Malaysia anymore. And if you can only sell locally, then 25 million is not a substantial population to sustain a really complex industry.
Trying to deliver a product purely based on cost, we understand is a race to the bottom. And manufacturing, if it is to make sense in Australia, we have to start thinking about what differentiates the goods or the services that we're delivering here.
One of the great things about Australian manufacturing, and in the case of the Commodore and in the case of the Falcon, is that these are cars that can go up to 900,000 kilometres, which means that there is capability in Australia to build extremely reliable, really tough and very high quality automobiles. It's just that something about what the product is and who we're selling it to and at what price, that's not sort of working.
There are few cities in the world that can lay claim that they can design, engineer and make a car from start to finish, and Melbourne can claim this. I think we forget this globally. But what that has resulted in is an extraordinary amount of expertise, intelligence, creativity, capability and capacity. It would be a shame not to leverage it, not to make the most of that heritage, but to put it towards products and services that make sense.
The big impact that when you lose manufacturing is not so much in the loss of workforce or in shop floor workers and things like that, because that can essentially be captured somewhere else, or so goes the logic. But what you're essentially losing is the brain. You know, if you have a huge manufacturing sector, then the brain of Australia is, significantly technical. When you start taking away technical opportunities, either in the student's head or in terms of research projects or in terms of industry collaborations between university and these companies, you're essentially sucking the life out of technical education.
Why aren't we collaborating and working and harnessing this creativity like we could be?
I'd like to see a future in which we are producing cars, but we are producing cars that are limited volume, very high quality, and they're reasonably unique, and which exploit the sort of innovation capabilities in this system.
My passion, my earnest belief is if we engage with our design sector greater, it will lead to a healthier, more robust manufacturing sector at home.